He was playing so well. We'll see if he can keep it up here against Virtus.pro. It's a regional matchup between these two CIS teams. That can always throw up some funky results, Dinko. And there was a period of time where these two teams were playing each other pretty frequently. Nowadays, they haven't been playing each other too recently. It's been a couple of months since we got this matchup. So it's great to get it again, see which CIS team is going to be going through straight away.
Well, the testing bit, the new player here for Navi has finally found himself that permanent 5th spot. He will be tested as this B play comes in from Virtus.pro. He moves forward off the back of the platform. Flash assist in from Perfecto, allowing the first pick. But it looks like VP are just wanting to swarm into the site, finally getting rid of Bit. Now that they've got rid of him, they've got the site, and that gives them a huge advantage. Retaking this B site is very difficult, especially when you're a man down with no utility and no kit.
Yeah, they're going to need some early kills here to have a chance. Virtus.pro are all trapped on the site. They don't have tunnels control, and that's where Na'Vi are going to try and make the most of these couple of players. But Yakinda's got the USP for the long-range fight. Nice trade from Boomich, but still so many angles to clear. They both swing on him, and Electronic is nowhere near the action. Strong start for Virtus.pro. They get the pistol.
Yeah, I mean, just testing Bit there, Hawkeye. You know, he does a good job initially with the flash of Perfecto, but once they just lose too many players inside of the site, not enough damage output to really go for that retake attempt. I mean, there's no other option, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's much else you can do. Bit there falling after getting that initial kill, and you just lose the site so fast. Unfortunately, in those pistol rounds, you don't have that utility to stay alive, to slow your opponents down. Now, Electronic has bought the MP9. No one else following up all that quickly on the Na'Vi side, but they're finally getting that buy together. Looks like they are now all on the same page that they want to go for this second round force up, as you would generally expect to see on that CT side.
VP, they've got 2 AKs in play. Khalil's a fast play out long is the call. And Electronic, he was the first to buy the MP9, and he's the first to get a kill on the server in round 2. Quickly traded out by Yakinda. It's Boomich the victim of his rifle, but Electronic swiftly upgrades to the Galil. Just to be careful here. Gap on that smoke and kicker it. He's found the follow-up kill for VP. They've put themselves in a very strong position now.
I feel like that's always a strength Kicker has, is understanding when there is a small opening. When there is something that maybe isn't necessarily something you planned ahead of the round, but you have to quickly, on the fly, make that decision. Do you want to take the fight there on the edge of the smoke or not? Kicker decides it's a favorable fight, and he is right in his assessment of the situation. Gives his team the man advantage. They've got the mid control. They've got some utility left to work with, although they are missing a couple of nades. They only have the 1 smoke and 1 flash. Clearly have the edge in terms of weapon.
And positional advantages as well. There's no one anywhere near the A site right now, so you can just walk up catwalk, get the bomb planted. At this point, Navi probably just consider the safe call, right? You want to at least have something to play with going into the next round. If you can keep 3 players alive with an MP9, a Deagle, some Kevlar sprinkled across the players, more importantly, then you can certainly do something with this.
Definitely the option too. I think it is a bit more difficult on Dust2 to make the most out of those weapons, especially if a play ends on A and you're kind of getting wrapped from long. There aren't that many positions you can actually play on the site effectively with those pistols and the SMG. Oftentimes those closer angles might just be mollied out. So not always easy to make the most of these weapons on this map specifically, but definitely a better option than just giving them away on some mad retake attempt. 2-0 lead for Virtus.pro. Good start to the game for them. Should turn into a 3-0 start. And we heard the desk talk about how Bit is now getting integrated fully into the lineup. This is one of those maps that he is yet to play for Na'Vi. Here on Dust2, this is his first time playing this map with this team. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on how he slots into the squad. It's a big step up too.
Yeah, it is. It's a big step up. I mean, when you look at Bit as a player, I think from what I've seen from him in his old Navi Academy teams, I watched a couple of their games down in the Tier 2/3 regions. He generally did show some good fundamentals, and obviously when his step up into Navi, there was a little bit of a transition period in sort of learning how to play properly in his roles. But, you know, he's shown that he can learn those positions, he can adapt, and I'm excited to see what he can do. He's got a good amount of firepower. We'll see if he can fit and slot right into Navi.
Oh, well, I think we'll find out fully once we get into the gun rounds. These half-buys are much more likely to have something slightly different to the norm. You want to throw your opponents off guard. You want to throw them for a loop with some of these weaker weapons. Unfortunately for Na'Vi, the one hole they've left in their defense is on this short position. Currently, the A site is wide open for the taking from Catwalk.
And a cat execute in from Virtus.pro. Making sure all the utility is placed properly. No one from Na'Vi is close by to really be flushed out these positions or really cause any issues for Virtus.pro right now. Yakindar, MP5 at this range, it's not the best weapon, but he's attempting every fight anyway. Finally runs out of ammo and goes in behind cover, and the AK is far more suited for those headshots. And speaking of headshots, Sanji is one of the best in the world at getting those headshots, Alex. He's got some ridiculous headshot rates.
Yeah, he's up there. One of those very high percentage headshot players. Twists is another one of them who, I guess, does it more often with the rifles. I feel like with Sanji, oftentimes it's like he has a dig and he has to get a headshot almost.
Exactly. No, he has to get the headshots because he's always playing on guns like MP9s, MAC-10s, right? Where if you're going to get a kill, it has to be a headshot. So I mean, it all adds up when it comes to Sanji as a player. And man, everybody needs a Sanji in their life.
Especially when you're put in those really hard positions where you probably shouldn't get a kill, which I think are a lot of Sanji's spots, then yeah, you kind of have to just aim for the headshots, right? Because if you don't headshot, you're probably done for.
This was Yakindar with his MP5, and Sanji finishes off that awkward pit duel, but we've been waiting for the moment when Na'Vi can get some money out, and finally they've done that. It's simple. With the AWP, it's got not much utility around it, but you don't really need too much, and James has picked up the AWP as well, so we get that AWP battle straight into round 4.
I also love how James just decided, you know what? If I don't have the AWP, I'm not going to get any kills or deaths early. I'm going to wait until I get that AWP out. He's got it now. That was some solid nade damage, though. As you pointed out, couple of nades land into lower tunnels, both of them connecting.
Yeah, Yakindar is not going to be happy about that start. Down to 39 HP to start off round 4. The first gun round in play. It's all about getting the first round on the board here for Na'Vi. Boomich attempted to be burned out of the car, but had a smoke ready. He will stay in his position for a little bit longer. And this is that slow style of play the analysts were saying on the desk. Yanko and Bly, they were talking about how this one could be a real long affair, and we're starting to see the early signs. Virtus.pro know they're up against a buy round. They like to take their time. They like to figure out what's going on before they decide to make their play. And it's good to see that Na'Vi are holding on to most of their utility.
See Perfecto jiggle peeking the tunnels with that molly ready. Boomich just used his smoke earlier. His teammate throws one for him to stay alive on the car, but Virtus.pro have the mid control they're looking for. This B split looks dangerous.
Yeah, they're going to be pouncing on the B side. Bit is held on well. He's got rid of Kicker, but the rest of the squad about to come through tunnels. 3 up here, 1 in middle, making the play through the door as Yakindar, but this B hold has been held, and Yakindar tried to get rid of Electronic, but none of these kills are going in for VP. Finally, Jam gets involved, but he is alone. And off for the save, Jam goes. He's not winning this one. He's got to back away. There's only 7 seconds left in this timer as VP just back off and save this AWP. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah, Yakindar was sitting there on mid, and he was the man who had to get that kill in towards mid doors, because as soon as Na'Vi pushed through that smoke at CT, as soon as they clear out that position and call to their teammates that you're fine from mid, you don't have to worry about mid, just focus fully on the tunnels, it makes it so much easier for Na'Vi to lock down that B site. There was that kill for Electronic, probably not one he should have been able to find. And then you have those open doors now. No smoke up there means that Electronic can help his teammates on the site. So Yakindar was put in a really pivotal position in that round, just fluffs his line slightly, and that puts VP in a really hard position. They're all just pushing through the tunnels. They can't do much to win that round. Good stuff from Na'Vi, though, getting back into position, making sure they help their B players out.
And a pause coming through, unfortunately, at the start of this one, so hopefully we can get this resolved as quickly as possible and back into what I suppose you can call action. I mean, that round was really a non-starter for VP, right? They tried to play it slow in towards the tunnels, and I mean, I think Bit did a pretty good job, but we're going to get an update where there is action, and that's over on the B stream. Twitch.tv/ESL CSGO CSGO B. And while we take a look at this one, it is Fiend versus Team Spirit. 4-4 in terms of the player count right now in this pistol. And it's gone the distance. A third map up. And Fiend are impressing everyone, I think, in this one.
I like to imagine that URL isn't CSGO B, it's CS Gob, just because I love Gob B.
Yeah.
Back in the days, I love that big team.
I mean, you're a big fanboy, aren't you?
I still
really
am.
do like their play style.
Yeah, Gob was the mastermind of that, though. Brings me back to good times.
Well, Victor's looking crisp on some headshots. Unfortunately, couldn't get the pistol in there for Fiend. We'll keep you updated on that one over on the B stream. But here on the A stream, it's Navi versus Virtus.pro. Two CIS teams who have been on a little bit of a slump recently, right? And we're just seeing if they can bounce back. And it should be a real fun matchup throughout this best of three, right? It's going to be a slow one. It's going to be that slow, drawn-out play style from VP. We've seen it immediately into the first gun round. Unfortunately, there wasn't much action happening for the VP side in that round. In fact, Jim was the only player really jumping up and creating a bit of excitement. So good stuff from Navi, good team play. Obviously, they had one best of one this morning for Navi. A little bit of a curveball thrown their way with the overpass pick. Boomich was saying he wasn't expecting that map. Well, certainly a long one in the best of one showing against Mouse Sports. But like you said, Simple had to do a lot to get them through. And I think that's kind of expected. When you're going into a map you haven't expected, then you have to have a play like Simple. Just be that X factor. Be that play that no one else has and just get you over the line.
It was the only player on his team that had a positive KD in that map. Electronic was the next closest. He went even. But definitely the Simple show in that opening matchup. I think heading into this series, I actually feel like VP need this result more than Na'Vi, because Na'Vi have actually had a bit of time off. This is their first tournament since about 4 weeks ago. So I kind of expect some growing pains for them, even if they have come off the back of the boot camp. Whereas for VP, they've been playing this whole time and it's not been going well for them.
Yeah, I mean, I predicted them as my favorite team back in the FunSpark Ulti tournament, and honestly, they kind of disappointed, and I think they would definitely back that statement. Heading over to the B stream again, Spirit up 2-0 after winning the follow-up round, and it seems like Fiend are just down to what seems to be a little bit of a upgraded pistol buy. Oh, for Team Spirit, I mean, I don't think they'll be too happy with how the day has gone, right? You've had Dexter show up and have a big performance earlier against G2. You narrowly lose that out over on Mirage in a best of one. Now you have to go in and play against Fiend, and they are a difficult team, man. That's a team that a lot of people will have been sleeping on. The fans at home that maybe don't know the history of these Bulgarian players, but Team Spirit are finding the hard way that you have to play against some of these Bulgarian players and they will take you to the edge. OG and Cloud9 already know about that, and that's why they're not here in this event. And I guess one of the reasons maybe Cloud9 not here at all. But yeah, I mean, Fiend, they were void fought in the qualifier. Now Fiend, and we'll see if they can get themselves a win. If you're interested in following that storyline, again, over on the B stream.
Yeah, definitely. Really cool to see these guys still making it to events. Like you said, that qualifier run was really impressive from them. A lot of really close maps too, where they had to step up in high pressure scenarios. And they actually did. You know, we were saying about how this was going to be an incredibly important qualifier for these guys to get a chance to prove themselves. They came through and they absolutely delivered in a lot of tight moments. So definitely look like a team that can also perform under pressure, which is exactly what you want when you're coming into probably one of your biggest tournaments of the year.
Exactly. Well, that one looks to be a long one, and we continue into our one. We fixed the issues. We're back into the action. It's 3-1 for VP, but they've just lost their first gun round. It was very convincing for Navi. Jim over there saving his AWP, so we'll still have that in play alongside the AK-47s for the rest of the squad. We're back into the action. Round 5.
Definitely going to be keeping an eye on whether Yakindar can get away with some of his aggressive plays on Dust2. James having a look at mid, and he wins that first fight. Simple landed the shot, but it was through the door. He only goes down to 14 health, and James hits him right back with a clean shot.
Great start coming in from James, obviously winning that ult battle early against Simple, but again, like you said, shot was landed, so a little bit of issues there for Simple. He goes down early on, and now the rest of his team might just continue to fall. Boomich picked out from the A side, Bit further down on the ramp. Molly's coming down into CT spawn in Bit. He's just looking for some peeks over the top, some heads to try and shoot at, but no one's giving him a single chance, and the bomb plant will come through for VP. 2 players up, a clean take of the A site, and you start to question if Navi were even in this round. They have to save their weapons. VP are up 4-1.
And this is a good example of how much pressure the CTs can just be put under with a single death early in the round. They've just gone crumbling in this one after losing that first fight. I think especially when it's AWP on AWP, because Simple, you would want him to be holding that A site, and they're running down Perfecto. They don't want to let him save this, or surrounding him from all angles. Buster gets it at the end. Nothing available for Na'Vi. Saved into the end of that one. Virtus.pro putting the punishment down on them. And that is what makes it so difficult, right? Your AWP goes down at mid early. VP are going to be so much more confident at that point, just running up through short into the A site, because they kind of know it's unlikely there's an AWP up against them. And then you can just run it onto that A site and go for the play. Na'Vi not giving up without a fight, though. They come back with a buy.
Early utility being used up at long, and Buster, he will be the front man in this charge. Electronic is blinded, but does have Boomich close at blue. He's got the MP9. He might just be able to help out his rifling teammate in the pit. Good Molotov deep, but Boomich on the fallback. Buster is not allowed safe passage back into the longhouse. Instead, Boomich taking the opening kill for Na'Vi. You've still got Electronic that hasn't even needed to come into play yet. Finally, they get rid of Boomich, and Yakindar takes down Electronic. So the initial fight might not have gone VP's way, but there's still Simple lurking around the corner.
Waiting patiently for his first kill of this map. He's got the AWP in his hands to try and do it. Peek about to come his way, and a tight angle made the most of by Simple. He's going to get back to safety and leave his teammate Bit at the car to watch long. That AWP is trying to stay active, trying to get involved across the map, but Virtus.pro are now walking up long.
Yeah, they're just walking up, expecting this fallback from Simple and Bit. They're not going to check him. Yakindar falls down to the rifle. You take a look, there is still one incendiary left in play here for Sanji. James is trying to get the pick. He knows Bit stuck in the car. Finally, that incendiary will go through. That should force Bit out into the open. He's trying to stay alive, and eventually will go into the crosshair of James.
Low time remaining, 25 seconds left. I think Bit might have been trying to wait for a teammate to peek with him, but Simple wasn't close enough to allow that to happen. And now Virtus.pro run it all the way back to B. Even when it's late in the round, these guys are capable of this. I don't know if they have time, though. This is hella close.
No, James is too far behind. He's too far behind. They can't do it. Oh, it's another one of those awkward rounds. They have to get planting immediately, and there's just not enough time to win it. Too far away. James was the back player, just a little too far away from the B site. And Na'Vi, I mean, they don't even have to fight towards the end of the round because time is Virtus.pro's worst enemy.
Oh, I thought we were going to get a replay of the failed plant there. that
would have been horrible.
It would have been. We don't need to see that again. You'd see this shot from Simple, though. Just a shoulder showing. James was able to get this one in reply, but 30 seconds, you're on long. You have to know those timings to a T. And if you don't, 1 second, 2 seconds off, the round is lost. You don't even get a chance to play at it. And I think you can see Virtus.pro realizing that round was not one they want to repeat. Timeout taken.
Yeah, you don't want to be fumbling rounds like that. So just time to regroup, time to refocus. A tactical timeout is the perfect call right now for VP. And I think Na'Vi, you know, that initial long setup, I probably would have liked more out of Electronic, but Yakindar just swinging out. You can't do anything about his nutty aim, right? He's just hitting those headshots. Electronic did have an initial good setup with his teammate Boomich. And I like that they're going for those setups in long. I want to see more out of that from Na'Vi, because even when Electronic goes down, they have the follow-up protocol of having Simple nearby.
Despite the round win, Na'Vi are the ones who look slightly worse for wear in round 7, but they still have the AWP of Simple. Early shot lands. Here comes Yakindar, though, hunting down the trade frag, and Boomich was left alone on long there, trying to fight it all by himself. That was always going to be a difficult hold for him. Back to the 4v4, but Simple wants more.
Yeah, they decided once they lost long, they'll go for the short play instead. And Simple, his neck's just been snapped off, and Kicker doubling up. Electronic and Simple both out of the round.
Well, now VP just need to stay alive with these 4 players, run it onto the A site, and it should be a round confirmed. James realized that. He didn't need to take that fight at mid. As soon as he took a couple of shots, he backs away onto A. And Virtus.pro have a 5th round in the bag. And Simple has been trying to be very dynamic with that AWP. He's tried to get a kill and then quickly switch up the position. Looked like in that round, Virtus.pro were 1 step ahead of him.
Yeah, and I like the call. I like the movement from Simple and Electronic there. They lose long, they just give it up completely, and instead drop back into A site and then push down short together. It's just unlucky that, you know, when Simple misses a shot or a kicker just lands a beautiful headshot, you know, you expect the trade kill to come in from Electronic, but it just wasn't there. And Kicker is hitting some nutty shots right now. Good double from him.
There also is a chance Na'Vi were thinking they had the long control and that they were just going to leave Boomich there and then play from the site. But once Boomich dies here, you basically have no choice, right? You can't just give up on long and short and just play it from the site in that 4-on-4. You kind of have to go for the re-aggression. And I think VP were aware of that themselves. Kicker just lines up those 2 headshots. Really nice aim on display from him. And Na'Vi's economy continues to be called into question. This time, they only have a single premium rifle, but they have decided to go for the investment.
Jam out long this time. Blinded and forced off the angle, so he drops back. No death at long in this round. It's been a very common theme throughout this map so far. This time, it's a slower approach from Virtus.pro, and they're going to be walking up through short. Perfecto. Yeah, to get a kill on the board. He's got his incendiary in his hands. And Boomich going for a little bit of a walk towards long. There is still a player holding that, holding the extremities. That's Sanji. If you could think of a boring role, it's generally Sanji in that position.
Definitely. I would not like to be Perfecto right now, though. MP9 solo holding A. He's done well to pop up for an initial kill.
Whoa.
Long is being held by his teammates, so he can wait patiently, try and survive. The nade not landing on towards him. He's buying time for the rotate here. Na'Vi are getting onto this A site.
Yeah, Perfecto has done a fantastic job of just staying alive. He's let the rotation come in, but Yakindar and Buster lining up the Na'Vi players. Finally, Boomich getting involved in his pistol, but Sanji coming out long. Boomich has still been able to find a follow-up. He's still standing. I thought the flank out long from Sanji would have been enough, but he's not able to get the kill. And now it's on to Jim. He's landed the shot, but he hasn't got the kill. And Na'Vi are up in the 2v1.
Sanji's got to make up for that prior mistake. He missed the free kill previously. 25 seconds. He has to go for these fights. Oh. And the off angle from Boomich is one Sanji isn't prepared for. Na'Vi steal away around thanks to Perfecto surviving on the site. And then thanks to Boomich coming in with a quad kill. They should not have got away with that. But Na'Vi will take it all day long.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate seeing Sanji, right? That's a free kill right there. It looks so good for VP once Yakindar and Buster get these 3 kills, but you have to bring it back to Perfecto. He was the important player that, you know, you're off-standing these players who are coming at you, just running you down on the A side with a weak weapon, and you just stay alive long enough. Okay, nice shot landed out long. Bits down to 24. That's a big fast flick there from James.
At least Na'Vi get the long control. Boomich is going to be able to play in an aggressive position. We know that Boomich is one of those players who is willing to push all the way through the long doors too. This round might not be a bad one to go for that because Virtus.pro are putting a good bit of pressure on mid. This time, Simple lands a shot through the door. Yakindar down to 31 health. VP continue to run their play though, starting to get onto short.
Oh, Yakindar is so low. 19 HP. HE just slightly connecting with it. Minute left on the clock. And short control is what VP have to play with now. Yakindar is going to walk into tunnels just to make sure no one is pushed, no one's aggressed. Looks like they're going to be setting up for a play into the A site for the meantime for VP. Could fake it out and drop down though. It does come down to time. They have left themselves a too little time before Hawker.
They have plenty of nades left too. So many flashes. Smokes available for them. And they are going to start to use that utility now. A couple of smokes into A, but the bomb is focused on mid and likely a B split.
Yeah, of course. They don't have a player out long. They don't have a prong now. You've got Yakindar in the tunnels, though. And they're going to be trying to win these fights, but the time is ticking, and the bomb is down. JM unable to get anything, and it's Perfecto and Boomich stepping up. It's Yakindar left alone. 1v3 with the Deagle. He runs on in, and Simple closes it out. 5-4. Na'Vi win the round. And VP, again, I think they're just a victim of the clock there. You know, you can still try and figure out a way to win that when your initial plan doesn't go right, Hawker, but the bomb's down and you don't have any time to go and pick it up and then run into the site.
Yeah, they were always cutting it fine there to be able to take the site. It would have had to have been a pretty clean take. soon as Na'Vi start to win some fights and slow things down, it starts to become more and more of a long shot for Virtus.pro. And speaking of long shots, this round they have 5 Glocks. Can't imagine they're going to get much done in this one. Na'Vi seem to have stabilized here. After a bit of an uncomfortable start to the game, they're about to bring it back to an even scoreline.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say, you know, you don't have to believe in this Glock round, Alex. As much as you can be an optimist in life, I think this is a little too far. I mean, Jim isn't even at the PC there, I don't think. So, you know, he's got his hands off his mouse and keyboard, finally has arrived. And you can use these Glock rounds as a timeout, right? You can just use that time to talk about what you want to do in the gun rounds. And I think there's plenty to talk about for VP, right? They can fix a couple of those rounds, some of those late round calls. Just need to be a bit more well-oiled. Oh, chunky.
Never nice when you don't have the Kevlar. It's also kind of nice for VP that they just bait out a lot of Na'Vi's utility in this round. You know, you look at Na'Vi's economy, it's not like they have flushes of cash currently ahead of this one. So every piece of utility you bait out is something that has to be rebought. But eventually you've got to go for it. And with 30 seconds left, they will be trying to get to B.
Run boost at the ready, trying to get some run boost action going on, some gymnastics practice in the eco round for Virtus.pro, and now the B play. It's easy peasy for Bit, it's easy for Perfecto, and Bit's just getting USP headshots as well. Just your Kindot taken out of the round, 5-5, and we get into the important ones again. VP getting back to the bite here, Hawker. And we've seen their gun rounds, we've seen what's gone wrong. We'll see if they can fix it heading into the next.
Nice work from Bit with that secondary sniper. Good to see him getting some kills under his belt. He's already up to 8, top of his team right now. See if he can keep it up, though, because it is that aforementioned gun round for Virtus.pro. James has the AWP, AKs across the rest of the squad. Smoke from the T side will give Kicker an angle if he wants to. The molly wasn't actually extinguished, though, so he didn't have the option to go for it. Oh, that smoke hits Bit. Now he has to go back. Doesn't want to get tangled up in that smoke.
Virtus.pro leaning in towards B. You've got 4 in the tunnels, 1 in bottom middle right now. That'll be Jim, and Yukindar will be joining him. The 2 big hitters for this Virtus.pro side. And to be honest, Kicker has looked crisp today. He's had some important rounds and some important kills coming in. So again, VP running this clock out, just making sure short hasn't been taken by Na'Vi. And Bit on the backline, you mentioned he had a good round the previous. We'll see if he can do it against the gun rounds this time. It is a bit more of a difficult challenge when you've got the rifles in the hands of VP. And Perfecto's going for the spray down through the smoke. Hits the headshot onto Sanji. Yukindot looking for the back plat player. He's caught in the open though, caught between a rock and a hard place. But Buster has found the important picks in this one. A 3v3. 38 seconds left, and now they cross over to the B site. Na'Vi are faced with a 3v3 retake of the B site, and in general, you start to ask questions of if it's even worth it going for these retake attempts into B.
At least they did a decent job delaying, so the bomb has only just now been planted. That maybe gives Na'Vi a slightly better chance on this retake, but the thing you would really want here is a bit more utility. They only have 1 nade, and it's not going to do enough.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, Na'Vi, they made the decision. They're going to be saving into the next round. And I mean, that's why VP lean heavily into B, right, Hockey? When you initially kill the B defenders, you can maybe lose 1 or 2 players, but as long as you keep it even, or maybe you keep the man advantage, you can then take the B side, and you already put that question in your opponent's head of, is it even worth it?
Definitely something worth considering. It's also, obviously, the position that Bit's playing on the Na'Vi side, so you can test and see exactly if the coordination is fully on point for those Na'Vi players. In this round, they did a good enough job to begin with, but the molly onto Bit always was going to make life difficult. Once Perfecto went down, they knew where he was. Buster gets that headshot to the back of the site, and that's all they need to take a 6th round win. At least Na'Vi saved those 3 guns, though, and keep themselves on top of the situation for this one. Still a fullback.
And James looking for the opening pick into middle. He spotted the leg, the jiggle peaks, but Jam will not get that follow-up peek from Bit. He gets the info he needs and he drops back. Look at this long push here from Boomich. He's been loving some of these aggressive stances in towards long, just getting outside of those doorways. It's been pretty good when they test him.
Pretty standard start to the proceedings. Not a bad nade from Electronic. And Boomich burned out of position. Down to 60 health. He is able to get away safely. So Virtus.pro have the short control. They've pressured long somewhat. Na'Vi are now going back to the A site as well. Simple is just going to float between those two positions, making sure long has some eyes on it.
Yeah, the Molly just burning out any of those close positions. Kicker now setting up his execute. Looks like VP want to go for the short play, but Electronic and Boomich are inside of the smoke. And Yukindar's close by. They're just biding their time. Eventually they will be revealed, and it's Yukindar with the first pick. Boomich on the double, make it 3 from the FAMAS. That is huge from Boomich. And it's Virtus.pro being chopped down to 2 players with 24 seconds left. They've got to figure out how they are going to win this round.
Nice shot from Simple. No flashes against him. He's always going to get that one. And Jame can't really get involved in the action. He gets 1 kill on a rotating player, but with the bomb being dropped over towards A and little time remaining, the round is over. Surely he spots that. He shoots the gun that flies across his screen, but Na'Vi have the round, and Jame has the option to save the AWP, which he will take. What a hold from Boomich, though. That's where the round is won. It's a risky setup from Na'Vi. Playing aggressively like that on short, you have to step up, and Boomich definitely delivered. He wasn't happy with 1, he wasn't happy with 2, he wanted a full 3-course meal, Dinko, and he definitely had a tasty one.
Yeah, it's certainly tasty. Lots to eat on shore, and I love it from Na'Vi. I love that setup. You're going to punish them for being late on the round, right? Just get up in those choke points, get up in their grill. And when the smoke's faded away, Boomich is like, sup, just kill 3 players, no problem. FAMAS in hand as well. Incredible round from Boomich. And Jame is looking down mid, looking for the little jiggle peek. Again, similar setup as the last round. It feels like it's the same one, to be honest. And Jame just walking up short. Kicker will be joining him. This time, the core difference being VP's buy, of course, looks dismal. So it should be Na'Vi cleanly picking this one up. You don't want to give any chances away to Jame, because this is the round where he needs to make the AWP sing. This is where he needs to deliver. And with this stack, this boost, this isolates Jame. This makes sure that even if he gets 1 pick, you've still got that trade potential, right? You've still got that second player holding short. You don't get that control straight away.
Putting that molly down to make sure they don't get overrun on A. Instead, Jame goes for a pick elsewhere, but the flash is beautifully timed. Bit sprays it down. The molly's going to land. They can't even get the AWP back. It's up to the players with the pistols to try and push onto the B bomb site. Nice shot from Bit to begin with, just before the smoke blooms. But Virtus.pro have brute forced a bomb plant.
Yeah, they have. The bomb plant is huge. It obviously gives them a lot more money to play with. And again, Na'Vi outside of the B side. This time, up against weaker weapons. This time with utility. Molly going through. Yukindar's close to the window. Flash, though, by the retake flash going over the B site. Now we still haven't got players inside the site just yet. So VP still, for the time being, have control of the B site. But for how long do Na'Vi wait to go for this? Yukindar's close, just waiting for that fight. Finally, Electronic will strike. Na'Vi dive down. They get all the kills, and they get a 7th round.
Na'Vi just waiting patiently for the right time to set that retake up, ensuring they have the player ready at tunnels. Everyone can just get into position and move in as a unit. Up against those pistols, you should be able to overrun them. This was that flashbang, though. Lovely stuff from Electronic. Just takes so much of the threat out of the round. And even though they were having to play outside of the B site to focus on that mid fight, I think that's the right call. Just focus on one of those sides. Make sure that you're not vulnerable from mid. And then even if you give up the bomb plant on B, it's not the end of the world, because the retake should be fairly doable.
This time, Bit going for a bit more of an aggressive stance into the tunnels. There is a lot of VP players around the corner. Here comes the utility. Bit will be under pressure. He's got a second kill, and he deals with the pressure well. He does not crack. Instead, he gets 3 kills, and he cracks open VP. Another one for Bit. Could he get the ace? It's shut down finally by Jame. It is looking good for Bit on that hold. A 4K delivered from the AWP. And now it is all on James, stuck in the tunnels. Navi know exactly where he is. They've got him pinned in there. Even if he tries to cross back for his classic save, it's simple watching the T-spawn exit.
Oh, Simple's moving in, but Jay moves away. I think Simple might have spotted him. Now they definitely know where he is. He's fired the shot to the site. And Simple is going to sit, make sure that Jame is stuck. How long will this Mexican standoff last for?
There we go. Well, it's done. And Simple, he was the player that had more patience than Jame for once here. You know, Jame moves forward into his crosshair, the time ticking down. And he goes up the round now a bit. You just have to talk about this, Holker. What a haul from him.
Just going in and out on a close angle. Then he doesn't go wide on this one. He realizes he can just tuck into the corner. He had the rifle support initially, but then was just about able to get the quad kill on the round. That B site has been pretty well defended so far. It's been pretty solid against these gun rounds. I like that Virtus.pro finally tried to switch up the pace, but even that gets shut down for them. And heading into the last round of the half, it's only the 1 AK to work with, and that's in the hands of Jame.
More boost up. Oh, Simple. He's close to the headshot. Jame probably felt the wind go past his head right there. But no kill. Looks like Bit is going to aggress again. He's got confidence from the last round. He's going into the tunnels. He's got the small angle and he hits the shot. That's the bomb.
Didn't want to risk using any utility to keep that control, though. Didn't want to pull out a smoke and maybe lose your life unnecessarily. Gotta say, for Na'Vi, it is pretty rare to see them winning, while Simple has not had to do too much. It's a really nice sign for them that for once, it's the other players on the squad that are doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Simple on that A site hasn't been tested all too often. 45 seconds remaining in this one. It's another slow round for VP, but they're starting to use up what little utility they have left on mid.
Yeah, it's going to be that B-split attempt, trying to come up and test Bit again, but he has been fantastic. He's got that rifle support from Perfecto as well. And VP, it's a bit of a non-starter in this one. A 2v5 with 25 seconds left. That bomb down in the tunnels, it's already done. It's just a formality we play out these last couple of rounds. Our moments in the round is Simple. We'll close it out with a double. It's Navi who go into the second half with the lead. I'm looking forward to seeing if they can continue it.
You're my best friend, best friend. You're my best friend, best friend. You're my best friend, best friend. Everything's better when we are together.
The second half continues with Navi in the lead. It was simple with the 2K to close out the first half, but it wasn't the simple show. He was relatively quiet. It was the new kid on the block, Bit, who was stepping up over at the B side of the map with that AWP that, for me, had the most flashiest play. We head into this one, Hawker, and I think Virtus.pro will be relatively disappointed, I would say, with some of their T rounds. And now they're down 3 rounds going into the second half. It does become very difficult when you're up against Navi.
Yeah, definitely, especially with the way Na'Vi were playing and with them not needing Simple to go Super Saiyan yet. He's still got a lot of room to do that if he's called upon here on this T side, and you would expect him to have many more chances on the T side. See if that is indeed the case. First, it's the pistol round. Full Kevlar right now for Virtus.pro. Yakindar yet to buy. He finally buys 1 set of utility at the end there, while Na'Vi have got 2 sets of nades of their own and an early Xbox smoke to kick things off.
One export bet odds at the top of your screen. It's Navi and Virtus.pro. Close as you can get it, really. It's Navi who've shifted into the favor. And you can definitely see why heading into the second half. And over for VP. It is 5 sets of USPs, a little bit of Kevlar. Spring it across, and Yakindar now with that utility. I want to see what he does with it. As Navi pressure down mid early. They've got Electronic just jumping up onto the Xbox. It's Sanji that's drawn that opening kill, though, for Virtus.pro.
First blood in favor of the CTs. Always a nice way to start the pistol. Not much utility here for Na'Vi either. They've really got to use that flashbang to close the distance. Otherwise, these USPs should be favored in these fights. Yeah, can't go for that. Not against the USP.
Especially when you're a man down as well right now. Navi can't really afford to take any of those risks. What are they going to do, though? Seems like they've got a player out lower tunnel. That is Simple. And Kicker, he's gone over towards the A side of the map. Don't know if Simple would have heard that crossover. Sanji is going to be playing up short, and Boomich running forward, but it's Simple with the quick reply. Sanji has done well in the pistol to keep a man advantage afloat for Virtus.pro. Now JM looking to go for the long fight. If they can take that long control, that does put pressure on the short play from Navi. And the shots are coming in for Yakindar and Kicker. They've got themselves into a grip position. And now it is just perfecto. A good start into the second half and a much needed one for Virtus.pro.
And Na'Vi unable to ever really put the pieces together of a proper push as a unit towards that site. Because you've got those Glocks on that long-range angle, it's really hard for everyone to try and commit like that when you know that you're running the risk of just getting shut down entirely. They didn't have the nades left at the end there, unfortunately, to give them that ability to close the distance more easily. And some good shots from VP deny them. Sanji, always a player that can be looked at for those pistol rounds. He came through with the early kills. Now we might have the chance for some easier frags up against the low investment from Na'Vi.
Flash at the ready from Jim. He can pop his teammate into the short peak. Currently, Bit is near the Xbox. Simple coming out top middle, now walking up short with his deagle. And Bit will be the man gathering that early information. And Simple likely to go for the peak with the flash. It's going to allow Yakindar just to dive into the open. Sanji backing him up as well. They come out with 3 kills. And finally, they go down to the P250 of Perfecto. Ooh, that was long and labored, but finally comes through the Virtus.pro round.
Needed some help from the Famassive Kicker. That MP9 fires very fast. Sometimes you can lose track of the spray quickly. But Virtus.pro are always going to have success in the round. Jame has the long spawn with the AWP drop to him, so that's going to be a good chance for Jame to try and open up the proceedings early. You've always got to be on your toes on Dust2, Dinko. You can get some very early fights.
The run out long from Navi. It's a fast call and a collateral from Jame. A monstrous start to the round for Virtus.pro. And what Navi have now got to figure out, you've just lost Boomich and Bit in one foul swoop. What is the call? How do you pull this back?
You almost wonder whether Na'Vi thought that was a safer play because they assumed it was unlikely VP would have an AWP so early. You know, we're only 3 rounds into the half. It wouldn't be necessarily a guarantee that Jame has an AWP on the other side, so they go for flashes over the top, and they are unfortunate to line up for the AWP of Jame, but he'll take those all day long. Also good for Jame, he had that long spawn. That's what helps him get into position, and now Na'Vi really have a tough time getting back into this. Not only are they 2 players down, but they have barely any nades left to make this turnaround happen.
Yukindar. He did work well with Sanji in the last round for multiple kills at short. He's there this time with Jame, and they've got themselves a double again. It's Perfecto left alone with an AK-47 versus 4. And definitely feels impossible and untouchable right now. Fantastic round from Jane to get the 3K. He's looking to close it with a 4th, and he'll do it. 9-9, we're tied up.
Good work from Virtus.pro, just getting the early advantage, and a 5v3 is always one you should be favored in closing out. They do exactly that. They do a good enough job, but it's all about this initial shot from Jame. Boomich and Bit trying to clear out different angles. They almost were spread apart there, but the lineup just about comes through. Jame goes on to close out the round for his team. Now Na'Vi are the ones back down to another lower buy. You have to remember, Virtus.pro here have won both pistols, and Bit has got off to a good start with his pistol in this very round. Deagle shot lands on long. That could be a cause for concern here. They would love to try and steal away that weapon. It is out in the open, though. I'm not sure if they're going to get the AWP. You wish you had a nade right now.
Yeah, if you had a nade, you could blow that towards you, but you do have Simple, and he'll make some space, and Bit follows up as well. The Deagle, the Scout, it doesn't even matter what guns they've got. And now you've just thrown an AWP into the hands of Simple. Now things get exciting. Na'Vi have a great chance. Of course, it's looking done now at this point. As Kicker backs away, he was the only player that could have done a thing there. And once he's smoked off, there's absolutely no chance to even find a small slither of hope. As VP back away, it's Na'Vi up to 10 rounds, and you've just got an AWP. That's a nice little freebie that you've been able to pick up there.
Absolutely. Gotta love how Bit is playing right now. He is keeping Na'Vi in this game with how he's playing. He's won them a lot of rounds. I mean, from that first half, Bit was 7-0 in opening duels, just winning a lot of early fights when called upon on that B-bomb site. Now he's coming into the T side and he's getting even more entries.
Yeah, and if that's the Bit we can come to expect, once he gets comfortable, once he's slotted in as the full fifth man, right? If he gets more comfortable as he goes on with Na'Vi, the only thing we've seen is the trajectory upwards. So if that's the Bit we're getting now, I hope we can continue to see that forward, because he is exciting right now. He is cracked. Whoa.
Unlucky Boomich. Trying to rush them down at the end. Not successful, but Na'Vi were successful in winning the round. That's against an AWP, by the way.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. And then, of course, we're sort of figuring out how Na'Vi are going to get this AWP, and then we forgot that Simple was there. So I guess that's out. Attack timeout having to come in for Virtus.pro. They have enough resources when they pull them together to get a decent enough buy. There will be some weaknesses, of course. Sanji onto the FAMAS. No stranger to that weapon. For Na'Vi, they've got a nice little investment now. Now that they've won a round, they shouldn't have. They've picked up a free AWP. They've got a lot of money they didn't expect to have.
A bit of a buffer for them. And they're on that T side of Dust2, where both of these teams have actually got a slightly higher win percentage on that T side. It is one of those maps that you have quite a few teams that prefer to play on the T half. Now Na'Vi get the chance to do exactly that with a slight lead in their favor. 10-9 up. It definitely still turn around, but this time Virtus.pro with heavy focus on A-long early. Will be able to hold off that control, but they won't be able to do anything about this push into short.
And smokes up short. It's the deeper one for CT, and Boomich is going to drop with it. Yukindar with the headshot just as well, because Kicker was looking the wrong way. And Kicker's going to drop back. He was flashed out of the angle. He'll get over towards the B ramp. Virtus.pro have the man advantage, and they've made the right call to send an extra player to the B side of the map here, because here come Navi.
It's 2 riflers on the B site too, and then Yakindar is the faster rotate, so they've got all the rifles ready in position. Simple right now, searching for a way in, but Virtus.pro are content sitting back on the site. That's going to force Na'Vi to push the issue.
And well, Kicker, he'll be the difficult player to flush out of this position. They have spotted Buster's position. They know he's there. They only have 1 or 2 Molotovs left here on Electronic and Bit. They're going to deploy it deep into the site. Yakindar's found Bit elsewhere. Now Kicker is the player under pressure. Electronic burns out Buster. Perfecto hits the headshot on Kicker. And Yakindar, you said it, he was that fast rotation, but the rest of his team haven't done enough inside of the site to make you feel comfortable about this if you're on Virtus.pro, right? You've still got this AWP, you've still got the AK. You just don't have the utility to go back in for this retake right now. You're probably just looking at the save call on the cards.
If only Sanji had that molly on the mid side, I feel like he could easily molly that back plat position. It's going to be much more difficult to do so, but that molly will land. Simple forced out into the open. Jane waiting, and there's a chance.
Yeah, they're still getting these kills, but good pick out from Electronic. That's going to slow things down much more for VP as they go into the site. They commit to it, wanting around here, wanting to at least damage the economy slightly for Navi, but all that it's done has ended up breaking down Virtus.pro, and James did not fully commit. He falls, and the AWP is gone, and everybody on the server goes down at the end of the round.
They did a good job at getting that molly into back plat, allowing Sanji to make the most of that. That's what they needed, to flush one player out of position early, to open up the trades, to open up some of those angles. Unfortunately, though, just such little time left at the end. If James has 5 more seconds, maybe he can start to close in on that last man, but the time was way too low. And we get a hero AWP dropped for James. Kicker has just spent a whopping amount of money on that, and the USP dink early is not bad either.
Yeah, at this point, you know, I would have hoped that James could have got away in the last round. You would have had some extra money to play with in the future, but we'll see if James can get something done in this round. He has to be the hero, and there's my answer. Simple, bangs him straight through the wall. James out of the round early.
See if Sanji can get anything going with it. Tight angle, unable to connect on the initial attempt. Simple waiting patiently. He feels like that AWP might have to press the issue. So he's waiting to see if it peeks into him. Yakindar's trying to be a bit sneaky. He's going to hear this smoke from Perfecto, but I don't know if there's much he can do about it. Perfecto is going to look this way, and I've got to think he's going to win this. He takes the dink, but takes the kill.
Yeah, he looks that way, talks that way, and he gets the headshot onto Yakindar. He opened things up and further crack open this case for Navi. You know, Simple getting that pick through the door, definitely threw a spanner into the works of Virtus.pro, but now with Navi walking into an empty A bomb site, it becomes a bodyguard squad to save that AWP. It was a big investment and nothing was found from it. To at least want to get something out of it in the future, but Perfecto, he's on the extremities of the B site. Haven't planted the bomb yet, and they're going to come into Perfecto's crosshair. That's Buster down. And they are delaying the plant to try and hunt these players down, and Boomers is going to walk up the lower tunnels looking for Kicker. He's done that well, and now Sanji's out of there. Well done from Navi. They delayed the plant up until around the 10-second mark, and that allows them to take down every single weapon, including the AWP.
Yeah, and Kicker spent so much money on that AWP. If he had some extra cash, this buy would look way better. Instead, he has to go down to a UMP. James gets another AWP, this time dropped by Yakindar. So James having a lot of fun, but Virtus.pro are not right now. They're 12-9 down, and they have to crack the code of this Na'Vi T side.
Yeah, I don't love this, Hulk. I really don't. You know, what were you really expecting James to be able to do in the last round with that AWP? And now you've just kind of messed up your buy for the future. And it's a fast play from Navi out long. Electronic and Perfecto, they trade out blow for blow with James and Buster. So it is a 3v3. And the chaos at the start of the round can slow down.
Simple drops that smoke, switches out to an AK. They're going to go through their own smoke up long.
Ooh.
VP do have a player with eyes on this position, but Buster's going to spot them pretty late. If he were to go down, that A site is really open.
Yeah, Buster needs to deliver here, but he's looked away. He's in behind cover. It's going to be the 3v3. Jim now comes over from short. He couldn't get an angle. He couldn't do anything. And with that utility deploying, once again, we're looking at Buster as the man to try and step up for them. He hasn't been able to capitalize on the slither of an opportunity on the jump shot. You would have to be inhuman to be able to do that. And Jam, luckily, has found his opportunity and struck hard onto Bit. Virtus.pro, they haven't been able to win rounds in a very long time. They want to be able to pick this one up. They're in the man advantage situation, and Simple has followed it up by pushing into CT. Buster's been able to hit the headshot, and Kicker bides his time. It's going to be VP up to double figures. They win out the 3v2, and they get themselves an important 10th round.
Good patience there from VP. You know that Na'Vi aren't going to be that comfortable on that A-bomb site in the post plant. Over on the B stream, Fiend aren't looking comfortable on Nuke right now. 15-6 down. This one looks like it is about to be over. After an early scare for Spirit, it looks like they will stay in with this win.
Yeah, unfortunate that for Fiend. They definitely showed up with a good performance in the tournament, obviously coming into the BO1s at the start. They played against the world's best team, right? So Fiend put up a really good fight against Spirit. That's over on the B stream. We will continue to run a simultaneous stream. You can take a look at over the next few days. We hop into this one though, and it will be 12-10, a close battle and a long one, as many expected and predicted. And Virtus.pro, you look at the scoreboard here, it is Jame and Yukindar who are topping the charts in the kill counts, and that's generally a good recipe for success for Virtus.pro.
And that's what they would have envisioned heading into this game. Maybe not envisioning quite this scoreline, but at least they are keeping it close right now. On Dust2.
Especially when you consider how many rounds Virtus.pro ran out of time in or just had to save away when you really didn't have much of a chance or much of a start in the round. It's crazy how close it really is when you consider how many rounds have been like that for VP.
And this round could break Na'Vi's economy. Honestly, it could break either team's economy. This is a big swing round. Boomich dinked early. Yukindar has to go back through the flames, because that molly had been ticking for a while. It does a bit more damage, so he's down to 44 health. But VP do win the early exchange of damage.
Treading out the AWP for the AK. Boomich taking the ult from Simple's hand due to the low HP. And Simple will rock that AK-47. We're looking at an A split on the cards for Na'Vi right now. 2 in towards Longhouse, 2 working their way short. And Boomich, he'll be left top middle to try and cut off these rotations, to try and flank up short. He'll be there to cut off that issue. So Na'Vi can fully focus on this A play.
Jame is caught between two minds here, but he knows his teammates watching long. Kind of wants to look at short, but he's stuck on both sides. Sanji holding long. First kill is good, but Jame gets baited in, and now they know exactly where Sanji is. Simple waits for it. A second shot collected, and Virtus.pro 3v4 retake won't be an easy one. They're sticking around, but I don't know if they can go for this.
Yeah, I mean, Simple just cracking heads out long. That's exactly what you expect from the Hulka. That's the Simple we want to see up on the server. Maybe he can get up to the numbers of Bit, who's currently on 19-14. Perfect is up there in second place on Navi and 17 kills. So it's been a good performance out of them too. And now Simple getting involved as well. It is definitely worrying for VP. And we once again have to save into the next round. This time, it is 2 AK-47s and an M4A4.
I just love how patient this is from Simple. He knows his teammates going out first. And, you know, some people in matchmaking, I'm sure, would claim their teammates are baiting them here, but he's just trading. He's trading his initial teammate, holding that separate angle, because he knows it's pretty likely the AWP of Jame is going to want to peek into it, right? Normally, the AWP there wants to fight on long so that they have that one safe side on the push. They don't want to get crunched in from both angles. So Simple's just one step ahead of it, waits patiently, and then he knows Sanji's stuck in pit. He can just wait for that peek too, or wait for his players on the site to come help him. So just really composed from Simple. Even though he hasn't been having his best game fragging-wise, he comes through with 2 huge kills there.
Yeah, and I don't care if what anybody says. I wouldn't care at all if Simple was baiting me.
Yeah.
No matter who you are at this point. While Buster down to 31 HP. Yukindar's quite aggressive up short, actually. I don't think they're going to be expecting this from Yukindar. 1 kill onto Boomich.
Haven't seen Yukindar be able to get away with as many of his early aggressive plays.
Oh.
Perfecto lines one up straight through the smoke. And just as it looks like VP finally have a nice man advantage, it gets snatched away from them.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, right? Yukindar's aggressive play, plays it really well, gets that opening pick, drops back, and then suddenly a kill through a smoke. And it's going to be the double play through the longhouse right now. And look at Electronic. His position is so strong for this. Two players about to walk into him. They're not going to be checking for Electronic, but luckily Yukindar reacts quick enough. Electronic was quick on the trigger, and because of that, Yukindar had not fully walked through the doorway. And now Navi, they're going to be going into the A site. 3 players currently making their way over here for VP. Yukindar has to hold on with the Incendiary. He's thrown it up into the site to delay safe passage to the site to get the bomb plant. And that does throw a bit of a spanner into the works for the Navi side. And Simple holds the flank. He's got a good angle to deal with the potential peek of James, but you've got to be very quick to land that headshot, and James just gets the info. Oh, Yukindar.
He's having a round here. 3K for Yukindar, but no kit, no nades on the retake. They've got to go quick.
Well, Yukindar looking to try and close it out with all 5, but he couldn't quite get the 4K. And now Simple in the middle of the site, alone in a 1v2. AWP versus 2, and Simple's hit the first. Looking for the second. Simple is a vessel of violence. 14-10. Simple pops off.
That second shot, straight through the box. No hesitation. He doesn't care that it's a wallbang. He knows it's going to get the kill. And just as we get into the late game, Simple starts coming to life. We thought it was Yukindar's round. We thought it was his time to shine. But 2 incredibly quick shots from Simple give Na'Vi 14. And just when you need someone to step up on the Na'Vi side to close out the game, Simple's always there for you.
Yeah, big play from Simple. That could have been the chance for VP. Yukindar, you look at the head-to-head of the stars, right? Yukindar versus Simple. Yukindar had a fantastic round, but Simple undoes all of his hard work and puts them in this scenario. Round 25.
Well, this one's the full buy for Virtus.pro. They've got a chance to do one better than that previous round where they brought it oh so close. It has slowed down slightly since he hit 19 kills, but he's already had a great game so far, and this time Na'Vi upping the pace into A.
Oh, James trying to land the shots. He'll sit back and get his second opportunity. You don't give James a second chance in the flash even. He still hits the shot.
It didn't look like the initial flashes were there for Na'Vi. It looked like they were almost running in dry, or certainly there weren't any effective nades. They are going to get the bomb down, but this retake should favor VP.
With the bomb taken away, Navi down 2 players once again. Simple is called upon. A headshot on the Yukindar. Perfecto working in tandem. A second kill in quick succession for Navi that's drawn it back into the equilibrium once more. And Electronic supporting with utility finally arrives to the party. And Perfecto, he's been here a while. He knows how it works. He's found Sanji. Jam has locked Simple out. And this time is ticking. Perfecto is still alive. He's still clicking. And it's all on to Kickert in the middle of the site. Electronic has run the time down, just staying alive. VP don't have enough time to win out the round, and he's missed the shot on the fallback. He'll try and get that AWP over into the next one for Jam. And that is about the biggest win they could have got there. Great stuff from Perfecto, just staying alive, getting those important kills, and drawing that timeout.
Playing that 3v5, they do really well to get a couple of those early kills. They find a couple of 1v1 fights early. And then VP only had the 1 kit in the hands of James. So Kicker at the end there is desperately looking, desperately searching for that defuse kit. He wasn't able to pick it up in time. And this T side has been pretty one-sided for Na'Vi here. After they lost the pistol, they've come back with almost every round in their favor, and they want to end it with a fast push.
Oh, Kicker to Boomich with the kills to 4v4. Now Buster throwing the smoke into the doorway. There's a play out quickly for Navi, looking to overwhelm the defense. Yukindar and Buster both get cracked down by Bit. He's had a fantastic performance here for Navi on the first map. And Jim and Sanji into the 2v4. Simple looking to close it out. It's just Sanji left alone. And Navi have done it. It'll be 16-10 on the board. Sanji just trying his best to add a few more stats onto the board here for himself. But Navi, they've managed to take away Dust2. This is their map pick. They've come into this one looking strong. A couple of slower rounds to start off, but most of the individuals have warmed up throughout, and Sanji's just trying his best, but goes down to Bit eventually. What a fantastic performance out of him, Hawker. Bit is here to play, and we get to see more of